Yeah, no, look, I think like everybody that's ever read him, it's like when you study Hitler and you sit there and you go, oh yeah, no, it was terrible. It's such a year 10 boy figure that, pretty bosh.
A better you starts today.
He achieved a lot. You can't give it to him, but he started from nothing. There's always that. I think that the same thing always. What's another classic one? Marilyn Manson. Oh, sorry, Charlie Manson. Marilyn Manson. Have you gone back and watched Marilyn Manson recently? Holy shit. If I may dust off an old internet chestnut. Cringe. So, that's, I think every woman that I've ever met, especially if they're from the boom of generation, they have always a Charlie Manson period of their life. They have a period where they were just endlessly fascinated with what he's talking about. I've been through the same thing. I was sitting there and thinking like, I wish he was gay. That guy just had this magnetism to him that you just don't see anywhere in the world anymore. And I think it's the same thing when you look at the Unabomber, right? You think, well, he's not wrong. He's not wrong, damn it. That's why I think that his words just echo true to this day. It's because he sort of broke down what an industrial future tech society does to human beings and what the ultimate sort of product of that is. And he was more or less just getting to the point that in this day and age, and this is something else that I think, I could use somebody who was just far less like, get you a clickbait for you, right? But Christopher Lash kind of gets to the same point, which is that in a society that is becoming more and more mechanized, becoming more and more of a machine, and that is just what's happening, yeah? I think all of organized society has just been mechanizing things, but we are getting to the point that things are mechanized in the traditional sense of the word, i.e. there are robots that are going, but it just keeps getting faster and faster and faster, and in that realm, there seems to be very few actual jobs that require you to do anything of significance or note. Yeah? I mean, look, we can all sit here and say, oh no, my job's important. Is it? Is it really as important as, say, being a medieval blacksmith, for instance? Are you anywhere near as important as that man? Like, if you don't show up to work, are there going to be things like the entire economy that relies on horseback shutting down because you don't have enough of the shoes? Are there going to be things like your town is not going to be defended properly because you aren't making the armament for it? Are you going to make sure that most of your guys survive so that they can live to fight another day by making armor? Like, all of that stuff. Can you really say that your job is as important as that? I can't. I certainly can't. And so I think that what this does in this modern society is it breeds a level of insecurity in people that is endlessly there and perpetuated by the fact that there is also this narcissism that is endlessly inflamed by looking at somebody who has a better life than you and thinking, oh, my life isn't like the optimal part that they're lying about anyway to take photographs of it. Me. Why don't I have the yacht? Why don't I have a chick with a mad ass? Like, all that stuff starts playing with your mind. And that's kind of just like the modern sense of the word that is happening in this point. But his point is that he saw the trajectory going further or like where it's going down the line, which is that who sort of determines what is meaning in this era and epoch, I suppose, is not so much the church, it is more the intelligentsia class. And this is something that I think has definitely been cottoned on to by your Tucker Carlson types and all of that, which is that universities sort of decide what morality is, but morality is becoming more and more performative because society is becoming more and more narcissistic, and this is why you had the rise of SJWdom, and then you had the backlash of the anti-SJWs, and it is all because, really, a lot of these things are not material, are they? They really aren't based on material circumstances. All throughout history, sort of morality was based on the principles of unionism. It was based on the principles of allowing people to eat. That was sort of what the good fight was. But in this day and age, it's sort of hit an equilibrium where everybody's sort of happy enough to be there, and everybody knows that their life is just a bit meaningless, and they are looking for meaning. And so this is what is sort of pushed out from a system that is not willing to really rock the boat, but wants to give off the feeling of wanting to rock the boat. Because look, universities don't want to, or university lecturers, for instance, like everybody else, they don't want to lose their cushy job and they don't want to lose their funding. And so they have to start teaching and pushing for things that are sort of just socially acceptable, aren't going to get much like legal blowback. And so what does that leave you to? Well, it leads you to all of the little, the woke utopia that is university. And obviously I think that has died a little bit, but the general principle of what is happening there, I'm just using that because everybody saw it because it was so obvious what was happening. The general principle of what's happening there, it's also to do with the commercialization of universities as well. That is where we are as a society now. And if you look at the rank between that, why that is happening, if you look at where that feeling is stemming from, it stems from insecurity. Don't you think? Don't you think that anybody, anytime you ever see any of these online causes, any of this slacktivism, anytime you ever see anybody on there just like really beating their chest about, oh, I support this cause and therefore I'm a good person, don't you think every time you look at that, you think someone is just desperate for acknowledgement here? Someone is just wanting, like, they are using that as a shield to validate their own existence. That's really what's happening there. They need external validation. And needing external validation endlessly is going to lead to a terrible life where you make terrible life decisions and you kind of just turn yourself into a bit of a parody of somebody because you really don't stand for anything internally. There's nothing internally guiding you. All it is just whatever is superficially, this is the good thing that you follow at the moment. You unquestionably start following it and you unquestionably just beat your chest over it. And that's why, like, honestly, in my field, over and over again, I've just been able to trounce anybody that ever comes after me. And the reason they're all doing that is because everybody else is going after it in terms of just like monetary gain and selfish gain. Like they are just going after and supporting the good thing because they think, oh, this is getting me clicks, so I'll continue doing that. They aren't actually supporting anything of substance. And I think that once you ground yourself in just like reality and just trying to get like an actual outcome in the real world, like you shift and people sense, oh, that guy's like that. They just sense that off of you. And that's not going to resonate with all of the other people that are just deeply insecure and they're just going to go on whatever little brigade is happening that day and they are just going to follow that. But this is why you look at their reasoning and it's just so stupid and vapid, is because they are stupid, vapid people, and I'm trying to rescue you from that same fate by telling you, like, revealing behind the wizard's curtain what is happening in these people's minds. And it is essentially that. It is essentially just insecurity. Insecurity. Do I matter? No, I don't. Okay, I just need some kind of cause. What's a cause? What's going to make me look good? That's what's going on in these people's heads. It's really scary. And the fact that there are just so many useless people now because of this modern economy that we have, the fact that you have more and more of these people doing this is starting to degrade democracy. Actually, I said that I wasn't going to be talking about my next show, but that is basically the point of my show. It's just the book, and I highly recommend you read it. If you want a red pill, holy hell, this isn't self-help, but this is like, once you read it, it's one of those things that you can't unread it. There's a few books that I've read like this in my life, but Our Own Worst Enemy, absolutely one of those books. You cannot look at society the same way after that. You just see the narcissism drip from everybody. But I think that the Unabomber, honestly, was just getting to the same point there. That all of this performative stuff is the result of everything becoming mechanized and things just not really needing to be fought in the same way. Like, he was obviously saying that this is going to lead to environmental destruction. I don't think that... I think that that's a very 60s interpretation of things. I'm a lot more optimistic these days, frankly. I think that it's... like, yes, there is still environmental degradation, but it's not happening at the same level that it was, say, even in the 80s. Like, with the same... Like, yes, because of the same population, but, like, our technology is improving to meet that standard. You understand? So, like, we have way better environmental regulations than we did, say, 30 years ago. Anyway, saying all of that, I think what you need to understand going forward in life is... every single time you start feeling this need to explain yourself to other people, this need to just like, oh, what like every single, like it just happens when you're on social media, doesn't it? You just think like, what are people going to think of this post? As soon as that happens, you are robbing yourself of joy. You are robbing yourself of like a moral guiding mechanism. You are robbing yourself of the very thing that is going to get you to achieve your dreams in life, which is tapping into what is you. What is you? And the way that you get out of that every time, I know that this is very simple stuff, but this is what this entire channel is. It is just those basic maintenance. You need to start thinking of the things that make you proud. I'm telling you right now, the things that you are personally proud of that you did, that is your ticket out of there. Are you just proud of things that you have personally done? And why are you doing that? Because that gives you little clues into, oh, when I am quote unquote my best self, this is the way that I'm behaving. This is the way that I'm acting. When you don't need that external validation, that's when you're acting like that. Now, obviously, this is an endless struggle in life. You are always just going to go through in and out of bouts, but I'm telling you that the way through every time is to switch from external to internal validation, and immediately you'll start being happier. And so there's just those things. Like, why am I proud of myself? You don't even need like a physical reason for it. There's just maybe parts of your character traits that you are proud of. That's how you get out of that rut. So make sure that you sign up to Jordan Shanks so I can boost you in that way anyway. If if you're that lazy. Anyway, I shouldn't be abusing potential customers, but honestly, sign up. You're never going to regret it. Trust me. You will not notice the infinitesimal amount of money that goes out of your wallet because it's just the same as buying a coffee every day or something like that. But this is like a coffee a week for something that I can guarantee you is going to get you further in life than goddamn caffeine. Come to the seminars as well. I'll see you next time.